All my life, I have been fascinated with the elegance and beauty of these magnificent ships to travel using only the wind. Okay, so quick recap. I bought this boat, Windera 40-foot Bayfield. I delivered her with the help of the previous owners, towing it on the hip with a pontoon boat to the slip. So the task at hand now is I have to sail the boat down through the Gulf, around the Florida Keys, back up through the Gulf Stream into my home port of St. Augustine, Florida. Mind you, I have a complete lack of sailing skill at this point in time. And the other part of this challenge is I live on the other side of the state, a 3-hour drive away, and I work a full-time job. So I'm about to take my first run out to Crystal River to mess with this boat, see how it goes. So all loaded up, heading out. Well, got a 2.5-hour drive, but got myself an audio book all prepped up, queued up. Time to hit the road. See that guy right there? He has no idea just how much diesel is about to become part of his life for this next few days. Poor sap.
He has money to travel for a year before quitting their jobs.
See this guy's parking job? I just thought everybody who watches this video could also enjoy it. Been loading stuff on, and I guess the first thing I'll do is test the electrical. So this is what we got going on for electrical so far. The other day, DC breaker, master breaker off. DC master breaker is off. Everything is off. Fuel top is on. Everything is off. I don't know what's going on with this. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I bet a lot of you watching right now are thinking, oh man, none of it's gonna work. And you're probably right. So here's a look in the world of electrical. This is some pretty big marine cable there, not connected. So that is the 30 amp is connected to this. The 30 amp is hot. I loosely plugged it in case I gotta rip it out in a hurry. So let's go see if we have any power down below. So I guess we'll start with the master breaker. So I was quickly realizing that pretty much every system on this boat was gonna have to be gone through 100%. And I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to do it and get it home, because it is really far from my house. Well, here's where it starts. I fired the motor up and it ran fine, but it was really choked out. So cleaned all the lines out, ran it with fresh diesel, and it ran amazing. Like high, no problem, nice and smooth. So first project is I gotta clean out this tank. So as I got working on this and diving into these projects and getting going and just really getting a feel for this big beautiful boat, I started to realize that this might be just a little too much boat for what I'm looking to do in this moment. You see, she was an emotional purchase, because I do things like that. But that's the side of life that I love, the raw emotion of it all, and why I'm getting into something like this. But in this moment, I think this just might be too much vessel. I want something to learn on, to bump into stuff, to get out on the big ocean and have some small adventures, and just to learn what this sailing thing is all about. So at this moment, she might be too much boat for me. One step. I pumped out about 10 gallons of water from the diesel tank, and it started to turn red. I reprimed everything. I made sure it has oil. I changed the oil. This is probably no viscosity, so let's see what happens, huh? Shall we? All for the haters out there, she's running. Take a look at what I pumped out of this tank. I don't know if you can tell, but the diesel is actually pink. As evening set in the marina, I took a moment to just feel the needs of this amazing vessel. I realized with the lack of time I had currently, I am not her proper caretaker. Not now anyways. It has been said to me that you never own a boat. You only take care of her for a while, then pass her along to her next fit. So that's what I did. I said my farewells, but was grateful for the adventures she had already given me. Thank you, Windera. So here's a look at all the fluids I got. I'm back in St. Augustine now, and I'm just figuring out where I gotta dispose of this stuff legally. So I'm heading over to Waste Management. Diesel. Well, water from the diesel, and then some sort of other diesel over there. Just a ton of nasty stuff. So I bet you're wondering, what's he doing now? Just gonna chase lizards full time? Nah. We're heading down to South Florida to look at another boat. So here I am down in Fort Pierce, Florida, where it is said that a lot of Canadians dry dock their boats for the summertime. There's the West Sail. And then sail their boats over to the Bahamas for the winter. So there's a lot of well taken care of boats out on the dry dock here. Look at that. That's legit. So I found another boat that I like, and I'm down here to take a look at it. You know, there's something I can't explain about the way boats look and the feeling they create. Like a sense of deep longing for a freedom we don't really have. Like Jim Carrey's character in The Truman Show, the fear of the water was his only prison guard. Perhaps my fear of the water is that same guard for me. I know and I understand that it will take work, but isn't life a lot of work? Sure, I could submit to the full-time life of Netflix and Prime shows, letting my reality be handed to me, the creation of someone else completely, or I can take this leap of faith, raise a sail, face my fear, and take a step into creating my truly own path. So I loaded up the truck and headed on down to Fort Pierce, Florida. So to catch everyone up, I am down here in scorching hot South Florida, down near Vero Beach. So to catch you up, I sold the Bayfield 40 because I was way in over my head. It was too much boat with too many problems. So everybody who left a comment that said it's only worth $5 grand, yeah, probably only worth $5 grand. but I bought it emotionally because I'm an emotional guy. So I paid $18,000 for the boat.
Not about the money.
So what is it about?
I got hosed. What do you do? But I'm looking at a Bayfield right now that's smaller that I can handle on my own, and it's for sale for 4,500. So I can probably get it for 4,000 if it's good enough, and it's something that I can single hand. So we're gonna keep this party going. I gotta find a boat that I can learn on, that I can handle, because the Bayfield 40 was way out of my league and it was way too far away. So stay tuned. Let's look at this boat. Alright, so here she is. She's a Bayfield 29, cutter rigged, full keeled, all the things that I'm looking for. She has a 29-foot length, 22 on the water, 85,000 pound displacement, a 10-foot beam, and a 3,000 pound ballast, 3.5-foot draft. The owner just repowered her. It has a Yanmar 20 or 2GM with only 800 hours on it. And when I did the math, at 40 miles an hour, 800 hours is the equivalent of 30,000 miles on the motor, so it's pretty new. So while I was taking a look at her, sure there's a few scratches on the gel coat. She needs bottom paint, but hey, she's already on the hard. She has a good looking prop. I can hear the cutlass bearing catching, so it sounds nice and tight. There's a lot of stuff this owner already had done to her. He really took care of her. He worked out blisters. You could tell that he really loved the boat, and that mattered a lot to me. I am just fascinated with these Canadian-built Bayfields. I think they're beautiful boats. I've heard nothing but great things about them. And this one is the right size for me to single hand and get to know her. It's super shallow over here in the east coast of Florida on the intercoastal, where on low tide it'll get down to 2 feet all over the place. You could almost walk around if it wasn't for the muck. So I need a boat that is easy to handle while I'm learning. And she's still stout enough to get out there on the ocean. Maybe not in the biggest seas, but in the right seas. She has the composite standing rigging done, which from what I could understand watching a bunch of YouTube videos on it is an upgrade. And it was done in 2021, so it's 5 years old. And it looked in great shape to me. The gel coat was fine. I think this boat could be the one. But I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the comments. You know, even though it's not as big and woody as Windera was, she still has so much character. She has plenty of wood. She could use a little cleanup. But this is still a beautiful boat. I mean, look at all this woodwork. The hatch is fucked. I could tell that this is a boat that I could fall in love with, at least for a while.